Today, we're going to take a look at the recently refurbed Knott's Hotel, which is great, along with Knott's Berry Farm, which is weird.
Hanging with Stitch or a chocolate bar. Kev Cage needs a knife. Buffets with Bert or a squishy with Bart. Kev Cage needs a knife. Kev Cage needs a knife.
All right, here we are at the newly refurbished Knott's Hotel. I think the grand opening of the lobby area was 2 weeks prior to recording this, which was the beginning of April. Admittedly, I don't know much about Knott's. I moved to SoCal 6 years ago and spent most of my park days at Disneyland and Universal. A year or two ago, I went for the first time for the Boysenberry Festival, and I mostly remember it being boiling hot, the food being meh, and rides having impossibly long wait times. Given the Genie Plus debacle and cost-cutting down the street, I figured it was time to expand our horizons and give Knott's another shot. Quick side note, Disney recently dropped the Pixar Fest foodie guide, and long story short, credit where it's due. It looks fun and probably explains why the Food and Wine Fest was so uninventive, but that's a story for another day. Anyway, Knott's had a deal where the season pass was like $90 or something at the end of last year, so you could go see the holiday stuff and have all of next year to visit at that price, so it felt like a no-brainer. It was time to give the Boysenberry Festival another shot, and with like 6 unique Boysenberry beers for me to check off the list, staying at the Knott's Hotel was important because we support responsible indulging. It's a very short walk from the park and it offers an incredible value. To wit, this room came with a package that included free parking, about a $50 value if you consider the hotel lot's proximity preferred, which I do, a Boysenberry Fest tasting card, about a $60 value after tax, and a single-use Fast Pass for every registered guest. There were 4 of us, so that's at minimum a $30 value, but could be more depending on which ride you used it for. So that's $140 worth of perks, and the room all in was $320, which brings the price of the actual room to about $180. Now yes, I know this is not exactly apples to apples, but the Pixar Place Hotel, which is considerably farther from the park entrance than the Knott's Hotel is, often charges over $600 a night with 0 perks. $600. And as you're seeing here, I think this refurb is pretty nice. As a frequenter of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and Hershey Park and its surrounding hotels, I love this kind of farm chic. It's partly nostalgia, but I find the aesthetic so incredibly cozy and welcoming, and this knocked it out of the park. It's of course worth mentioning that the lobby bar is amazing and has a wondrously full menu. You've got specialty drinks, a pretty good beer selection, some perfect snacks, lots of boysenberry options. I had the boysenberry old fashioned and the boysentini. And to top it all off, they've got chargers underneath the bar. Magnificent. So here I am walking to the room, and I'm getting excited because for some reason, I always think the room at the end of the hallway is like more special. Maybe it was like a casino thing with a good view, I don't know. Stopping to look at the carpet, which is very cute. What are those, quarters? I don't know. Onward and upward. I arrive at our room, which is almost the last room. One short. Story of my life.
All right, let's check out the room. 2 beds, standard. You probably can't hear that, but you can hear the roller coaster across the way, which is pretty sweet. There's also a car horn. That's a pretty mirror. Very nice TV. The TV, while being beautiful and recessed, does not allow access to the HDMI ports. So if you're weirdos like us and you bring a Switch, you can't get it in the TV. Is there a fridge in here? Bingo! There is. Got some coffee, stuff, Keurig. Oh, I'm an idiot. Nope, nothing in there. Oh, look at these. Decorative log flume plates. That is a new life goal. That's something. Probably something that used to be here. And this thing, I think, is right outside. And if I could figure out a way to frame this and dissolve, it's gonna be amazing. Did I do it? That looks pretty close. Oh, the air conditioner just went on. Let me turn that off. Can you hear that? Can you hear the people on Ghost Rider? We're gonna get to that in a second. Adjoining room, in case you need one. Breakfast in bed, amazing. Beautiful farm-like motif. How soothing and wonderful. Remind me to tell you a thing about the horse thief. Sorry. It'll make sense later. It's great. Barn star, kinda. I don't know what that is. Boysenberries, maybe. And the original Walter Knott's farm, if you don't check any references. Knott's Hotel lotion and soap, which, to my knowledge, smells of boysenberry. Fancy mirror. Don't mind if I do. What? Gotta press it. Alright. That probably does something. But darned if I know. Tractor in the bathroom. Amazing. So beautifully folded. That's your tub. Shower. I'm gonna guess pretty good pressure. And look at that. Their own line of glorious soaps. You can see, ooh boy, look at that one. Shampoo is boysenberry and vanilla. Oh, all of these. Boysenberry and vanilla. But yeah, if you can ignore the car horn in the back, because that's a nightmare. I thought this room was kind of bootleg because I just saw that when I first looked over, but you can see the water park over there. It's called Soak City. That might be a fun video. Let's find out what that building is though, seriously. I want to say it's not Buena Vista. I want to say it's Buena Parks Town Hall. It's probably wrong. That over there, yonder, is Ghost Rider, one of Knott's Berry Farm's premier attractions. Anyway, I wanted to do a nice shot of Ghost Rider going by, but it happens so infrequently. Their operations are absolutely the worst I have ever seen and possibly can remember in all of my years of existing and going to these theme parks. All right, I can't let it go. It's 5:48, and I just saw an amazing view of it passing by. I'm gonna wait and see how long it takes for another cycle. There we go. Look at that. What a beautiful view.
We went to the restaurant the next morning for breakfast, and with buffet and off-the-menu options, it was reasonably priced and quite delicious. And before leaving...
Alright, I figured out how this works.
Dad, everyone knows how this works.
Well, I didn't.
Really?
Amazing.
So, the hotel was a triumph. But what about the park beside it? Stick with me on this one, I promise it'll be entertaining. Knott's Berry Farm. Like I said, I've only been here a few times. And even though it's the most inefficiently run park I've ever been to, I'm not gonna lie, it's really starting to grow on me. Look, it's less than $100 for a basic season pass. While they absolutely can and should fix their ride ops, at that price point, I'm perfectly content if I just walk around, grab a beer, and don't do much of anything else. Again, I love Amish country in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. In this little area before you walk in, the California Marketplace, it has exactly the same vibe. I mean, look at this stuff. They have a separate area for leather, and it's in like a little stable. It's great. Then in the next room, they have a candy village with treats as far as the eye can see. Who doesn't love to fill up a plastic bag with candy and then realize it's 3 times as much as you thought it should be? Rustic decor lining the walls, including stuff on clearance, like these pumpkins that are 50% off. There's jars of hot sauce and barbecue sauce and beef jerky. That's boysenberry flavored. How can you beat that? Jars full of pickles and other pickled stuff. And we're not even in the park yet. But wait, there's more. There's a bakery. They have cakes. You can get a birthday cake here. All kinds of treats. My eyes are bad, so I can't see what they are right now from how small the screen is I'm looking at. But there's tarts and cream stuff, boysenberry cookies, boysenberry pastries. Think we're done? We're not. There's chicken to go. at Mrs. Knott's chicken dinner place. Another thing that I should probably do later. People say that Mrs. Knott's chicken dinner isn't as good as it used to be, but I think it's probably still great. There's only one way to find out for sure, and that's by going myself. Now we've arrived at the actual gift shop, featuring Knott's merchandise. This thing is enormous, and it's wonderful. It really sets the tone whether you're arriving, or leaving, or whatever it is that you're doing. They're positively stocked with Boysenberry merchandise, and it's a real treat. Okay, so now you're in the park, and Knott's Berry Farm starts off like any other amusement park would. You have your gently themed areas. This one is the under renovation Camp Snoopy, a great spot for little kids. As you know, I'm a fan of man-made rock wonder, and here we are admiring the under construction bit of it. They also do a pretty good job decorating for the holidays that you wouldn't expect from a smaller park like this, including this not at all creepy bunny. Next, we enter the recently refurbed Fiesta Village, which is quite lovely. They're reconstructing one of their classic rides here, Montezuma's Revenge, so that's nice that they didn't just, leave it to rot. This area is pretty, it's well kept, it has a bunch of flat rides for the kids, and coincidentally, it's also home to one of my favorite beer spots in any theme park period, Cantina del Sur. Why, you ask? That's another review for another boozy day. Next up is their boardwalk area, and don't worry, it's about to get very weird very soon. The boardwalk area, however, is kind of standard. It has some good roller coasters, some classic carnival games, it has that awesome 50s aesthetic, and if you're a fan of the music from that era, it is just one bop after another. I dare you not to sing along. Then the next thing you know, you take one wrong turn, and you're here, with these weirdos, and all of a sudden, things start to spiral out of control. You're walking through a tunnel and... Wait a minute, is that a priest? What? Is this a diorama of a mission? Are these churches? What is this? Okay, now we're in Ghost Town, and this aesthetic makes sense, I guess. Supposed to be an abandoned city? Sure. But it's filled with all these nooks and crannies and alleys that look like you're not supposed to go down them. Like this one, for instance. What's in this building at the end of the way? Probably not anything weird, right? Surely there aren't mannequins that are really creepy. Oh god, there's a little kid one? Why is this here? Yep, just a perfectly normal theme park attraction. Alright, diving deeper into Ghost Town, we have this wooden book. Welcome to Ghost Town. Here you will see a breed of rugged pioneers, few tools, without government, blah 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 blah. Alright, kind of weird, but signed by Walter Knott. Oh, here's a little thing. This book was conceived by Walter Knott as a tribute to Western pioneers who wandered this land? What? Oh, guns? Oh, that's cool. Let's look at all the guns while we're in a theme park. Like, I get that it's kind of going for a history vibe. Then there's this weird garden. What is that statue? What is this alley? Was this ever open to people? Ah, more guns. Hey, yeah. Hey kids, want to see the rifles? Let's go to Knott's Berry Farm. Then, you're never gonna believe it, more gun stuff. And what's an undertaker? Literally an undertaker shop. With a casket outside. Come on, kids! Let's all hop in the casket for a family photo. And they actually have like a regular theater to go see scripted content, which is awesome. Content, ew. Plays to get a one-room schoolhouse. That's pretty cool. A glass blower who warns you not to stare directly into the flame. Jesus. More weird outhouses with not quite animatronics hiding inside of them. There's a cemetery, because of course there is. How playful. And yes, there's another casket. There's this guy. There's a dude in a glass case carving wood statues with a chainsaw. You can't make this up. And yes, thanks for reminding me about the horse thief. Seriously, if you watch this the whole way, I love you. Anyway, there's a horse thief named Sad-Eye Joe back here, a legend of Knott's Berry Farm, and he'll talk to you, for real. Like a real human will answer you and banter with you. It's amazing. But also, when we spoke to him, the park was pretty dead. There was no one other than us within like 50 miles of Sad-Eye Joe. Surely this is not someone's only job, manning the Sad-Eye Joe station, even if only 3 people over the course of 6 hours talk to him, right? It's not even on the main path, as you can see. He's a little out of the way. Equally baffling and extraordinary. Then beside it, you have a hotel. In the window is presumably a lady of the night. There's a petting zoo. I mean, at this point, we've just gone off the rails. We're throwing everything to the wall and seeing what sticks, including this lovely horse and this equally as charming donkey. Oh yeah, and there's a blacksmith who will actually blacksmith items right there in that spot on the anvil, though he wasn't there today. So yeah, Knott's is a super weird place. But I'm really looking forward to coming back and exploring all of this in further detail. We'll talk about how bad the ride ops are, sure, but we'll also take some time to celebrate all of the things that not only make this place so unique, they inspired a lot of what a certain founder ultimately improved upon down the street. To put a button on this whole thing, if you have the means, I definitely recommend staying at the Knott's Hotel. And if not, the park is worth checking out on its own merits too. Because, and I mean this sincerely, if you're lucky enough to be at Knott's Berry Farm, you're lucky enough. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, or if you just feel bad for me, subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this. I'll see you next time.